Good morning. These are the sights and sounds at 6 a.m. Despite a pretty lackluster night on the floor, sleeping on plywood without a pad. I'm not terribly inspired to get up yet before more rain and wind. More of the same. What a weather pattern I've hiked into. See that food bag is still hanging there. All right, coffee. Well, that's the remnants of my bed as seen by daylight. Well, light. All right, I got my bowls ready. Let's get some breakfast, some hot coffee. Gotta start this day positively somehow. Coffee and cheese grits with bacon bits. Let's start. Good morning, friends. I'm signing out from Crystal's place. I have swept out the area, gotten all my stuff out, all packed up here. This is in watertight mode. I have some damp stuff in the top half of my pack. All my dry stuff is in the bottom, still insulation. A couple changes of clothes in case it gets really rainy or cold. It's perfectly possible if a thunderstorm comes in that I could find myself getting chilled. The temperature drops like into the 50s. I was recently up in Pennsylvania with my brother, and we were out sailing, and a thunderstorm literally popped up right on the edge of the lake. No warning whatsoever. We had lightning detectors, no signals. All of a sudden, boom, thunder and a flash of light. We got to shore, but the rain was so cold and the temperature plummeted to like 55. And this was in a week where temperatures were like 80s and 70s and things like that. So it's a radical temperature change. And I immediately started getting chilled there really, really fast. So you can't be too careful. So I do have a change of warm clothes there. This has been a great place overall. I got much better night's sleep last night than I thought I would. I did take some ibuprofen this morning to knock the kinks out of my body for my last day of hiking so I can go at it reasonably aggressively. All right, time to shoulder the pack, start Gaia GPS and get out of here. The key today for me is going to be maintaining pace, which I can do well, I think I can do. Maintaining pace while also moderating expectations. I don't want to push off too early, too hard here. That would be bad. I just need to settle into a good hiking pace. All right, much like yesterday when King Mountain was fog shrouded, the trail atmosphere today is pretty foggy too. That's okay. It is cool. Currently it is not raining, and there are some nice rushing breezes that come through and further cool you. Because yeah, I'm already warm just from 10 minutes on the trail with a backpack on your back and all that. But I'm enjoying drier socks and shoes. Paid to get my insoles out and hang up my shoes. Rotated back to my first 2 days socks. I need to get some quick drying socks because that's not what I have. And yeah, hopefully knock out as much of this as I can before I start getting soaked again, because the forecast just looks like rain, 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 and more rain. The trail has opened up a little bit here in terms of the woods canopy, I should say. Trail's going through a forest that's opened up. And I believe this was due, if you look at the trunks of these trees, to a burn, probably a controlled burn a long time ago. All right. I do remember this part as being an uphill. I think I'm just about on the last of it. Then it levels off, and I can already see an opening up there in the forest, which is Dusty Level Road. One of the things that I've noticed about through hikes in general is you go from a standpoint of being prepared, generally have a good first night in camp, and then the reality that you're X number of miles from your car. In my case, I was about 30 miles from my car. Kind of sinks in. Oh, this is pretty here. And what really got to me the second day, well, two things got to me. One, elevation with a pack, which had been several weeks since I'd attempted anything like that. So that was kind of brutal. And the second thing that got to me was having to stop at 2 because of thunderstorms. But I used my trekking poles. They're aluminum. The last thing I'm going to do is go trekking along a trail with aluminum trekking poles in a really fierce thunderstorm. And those first storms on that first day or second day were definitely by far the worst. So anyway, ticking off this section will make me feel as though the end is in reach, which it is. I just don't know how long. All right. Not a day for formalities, but ticking off milestones nevertheless. When I cross Dusty Level Road here, I enter the last segment of the Uwharrie Trail, and at the end of that is my car. Nobody on Dusty Level today. All right, this is the moment of truth soon here, because I should find out how far I have to go. No, not yet. 0.6 to Dutchman's Creek Trail. Okay, 6/10 of a mile, then I'll know. That's not bad. This goes through kind of some of the same terrain that I've been through on the other side of Dusty Level. so I know what to expect. All right, I'll bring you back in when I get to that junction with Dutchman's Creek. All right, the next milestone, that little 6/10 of trail is gone. The Uwharrie Trail, yeah. The Uwharrie Trail south goes this way, so I will follow that. Dutchman's Creek goes that way. Let's see if this gives me any more information. So the junction with Dutchman's Creek, if I go that way, is 5.2 miles, 11.2 to the NC 2427 trailhead, which is where I'm headed. But I'm not taking the Dutchman's Creek. I'm taking the Uwharrie. So this is the continuation of the Uwharrie. All right. Hello again. I am coming into a camp that I have used before. I think this is like Camp 16, or who knows what they call it. I think it was one of the original camps though. This, I don't know, I have to look at it. I think this is Big Island Creek. So I'm going to get across and keep moving. Going up the hill here, I'm going to a junction with Dutchman's Creek Trail, and then I'll take the Uwharrie on its last little segment after that intersection. Well, this is a good omen. Oh, red eyes, this is a boy. Moderate size. Hello, friend. Have a good day. This too is a controlled burn area, hence the low vegetation plus the pine trees and a couple of deciduous. It changes over down here. And I go down and back up to the crossroads. Recent storms have made the trail a little bit more challenging. Just had to scramble over that blowdown. It's the second one in a short amount. Hopefully the trail will be clear ahead. Well, if you're a mycologist, the rain causes a lot of joy for you. That thing's probably 9 inches tall. Woo! Case in point. They're all over the place. All right, that way is the Dutchman's Creek Trail. The Uwharrie Trail north and south continues this way. If I go that way, I will hit the Uwharrie Trail in 5.3 miles. Trailhead's in 6 miles. That's probably about right. I don't know what it's going to be this way. It says Uwharrie Trail south. It's my destination. I believe this is Big Island Creek. The one back at what I was saying was campsite 16 or whatever it is. That was actually Dutchman's Creek. And it's great after these rains to both see and hear a flow. It will also be interesting to see if I can get across with dry feet. We shall see. The second crossing here, a little bit less to work with than the first one. I believe there's another one or two ahead. All right, behind me over there is, I think, Big Island Creek, and I've made good time to this point so far this morning. So what I'm going to do is replenish my water, finish drinking my water, have another snack. I was looking at my map. I'm right here. Right here. Dennis Mountain is my last major uphill. Not the only one. There's kind of an up and down hill here as I remember, but it's my last super steep one. And that's the trailhead. So, yeah, going well so far. Beautiful creek. It's a two-part crossing, as I recall. It looks like that's my route. So I better put up the camera and get at it. Dennis Mountain is ahead. All right, this innocuous little stream marks the ascent, the beginning of the ascent up Dennis Mountain. So I'm just going to take my time and see at the top. I'm going to be leaving behind this lush creek bottom kind of forest and trading it for rocky, I think it's mixed hardwood coniferous forest. That way leads to the summit of Dennis Mountain. I've been working on it for 10 minutes. But this is the first sign. NC 2427 trailhead 4 miles. That's the first sign that's definitively let me know how much time I have left on trail or how many more miles. Woo! Catch you at the top of Dennis. Minutes later, and probably a fair number of calories, I am on the top of Dennis Mountain. This gives me this nice little ridgeline walk. I want to show you a little campsite up here and also point out a familiar native plant, if it's here, and that is the prickly pear cactus, which I showed you last on Little Long Mountain, about 21 miles north of here. All right. Campsite is that way in the woods. And there's a beautiful prickly pear and a few others. All right, let's get down this mountain. Quite some years ago, I was out doing a loop in the winter, and my dad had just given me a MSR Whisper Light. And I was on this trail, I was right at this point, and it started to rain, and it was nightfall, and I didn't know where the nearest campsite was. So as you can see, this is a steep slope. I didn't see that old logging road there. But I ended up hanging my hammock between two trees because the slope doesn't really matter at that point. It was brief, but for just a moment, there was sun. There it is, up ahead on the trail. That is the first sunlight I've seen since Monday, and it is now almost noon on Wednesday. That light came through again, the sunlight. Ooh. Fog has definitely burned off since early morning. Alright. This, ladies and gentlemen, is sunlight. Literally the first time in 3 days I've seen it. And these are also native species of the Uwharries. These are cassava plants, I believe. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Woo! Sun! Still just 69 degrees though here. This southern section of the Uwharries intersects bike trails, and that's what the Kiawe is. Kiawe were the Indians in this area long ago. I'm walking past some campsites that are familiar to me, that I know are not really that far from the beginning of the trail, and I'm beginning to taste it. This region of the Uwharrie Trail is known as the Wood Run region, and this is Wood Run. It's a really nice flow thanks to the heavy rains the last 3 days. All right, let me figure my way across here. And today has been about checking off a lot of remembered milestones along the way. And now I'm in the last stretches. You may be able to hear traffic. It's because I'm close to the trailhead. I think I have a final creek crossing somewhere. I don't think it's with the bridge though. And then, who knows? Maybe. And then I'll be out. Chat with you at the trailhead. This is the end of the route. My car is still here. Always nice to have a means home. Hell yeah. I made it. Thank you for joining me. It's been a heck of a hike.